Good morning, fourth grade Rockets. How are you? It's Mrs. Wilkenbush coming to you live from my home studio in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The sun is shining. I don't know about you, but I've ditched the sweatshirt. I've got on a short sleeve with a little sweater here. I am beyond excited to see the sun and have some warmer days. I'm sure you are as well. So we're going to get started with our next lesson today. And it actually kind of ties back to what you did, I believe, with Mrs. Van Boxtel a day or two ago. We're going to kind of come back to that and see what strategies that you used. The title of the activity today is called the Math Forum. I know that you did those in your classrooms. They probably looked a little different than what I'm going to do with you today. But it really is just to help you get some strategies. I just want to emphasize again, if there's something that you're struggling with, reach out to us. We'll try to help. We'll try to do what we can. And don't worry, do the best that you can. With everything that's going on, I know that you're getting it. So we just want to make sure that we can help and be a source of comfort and help for you as well. So what we need today is I need you to get your student book, and open to page 243 and a pencil. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to let you pause it, and then we're going to pick up, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, okay? Back at it. So your page should look like this. Page 243, it says present purchase. We're actually going to use these questions that you did in our forum today. Go through the strategies and everything that we did, okay? So if you didn't do it, what now with us and using these strategies? Because what we're going to learn today and what we're going to review today, it's pretty much more of a review day. It's things that you should already kind of know, okay? So with that said, our first problem said Joanna and 7 friends, so that means there's 8 altogether, right? Wanted to buy a hardcover book for their teacher from the latest book order. The book cost $12. How much would each of the friends need to give the order to buy the present? Okay, I came up with a couple strategies, and I'm going to see if you can help me figure them out. So my first strategy that I came up with was a multiplication, and the strategy is called partial products. And I'm going to try to hold this and work, and I just apologize, you guys. This is all kind of wonky to me too. I'm used to my big board, and now I got a little board, so thanks for bearing with me. So my problem that I'm trying to figure out is 8 times what is $12. So I'm going to start doing it this way. So I started with, well, 8 times $1 is $8. Okay. Well, what if I do 8 times $2? Well, that gets me $16. Okay, well, that's too much. What if I do 8 times 50 cents, which is 0.5? If we're doing this, oh, that gives me $4. I like to think of this because we're talking about money. Think about how many quarters are in a dollar, because there's 4, right? So I basically have, when I have 50 cents, that's 2 quarters, right? So 2 quarters plus 2 quarters is $1. And I do that for 8 times, the 50 cents, and that's where I get to my $4. So now I know that if I'm looking here and I see that the 8 and the 4, each person is going to do $1.50, because this doesn't help me in the middle, right? Because it's too much. So that's kind of what we call a partial product. How many of you did that? Raise your hand or yell at me or say, I did that, Mrs. Wilkenbush. I did it. Good for you. I'm so happy. So that's one strategy. I did another strategy. It's called partial quotients. Have you heard of that? Kind of a big word. But basically, it just means it's a division problem. My partial product was a multiplication problem. This one's a division problem. So I'm taking $12, that's how much the book costs, and I'm dividing it by my 8 friends, and then I'm trying to figure out how much we have to do, okay? So in order to do that, my first one I did, well, if I did 8 divided by 8, that's $1, right? So then what if I do $4 divided by 8? Well, that would get me to my 50 cents. And we're there. Because now I just add these two together and I have $1.50 as well. So now you can see another way to do with partial quotients, okay? So in our form now, we've done two different strategies. So when I'm looking at my problem, that's really what I'm trying to solve. 8 times what is $12? So that's my partial product using that strategy. $12 divided by 8 is my partial quotient strategy that I tried to use. Both ways are perfectly fine to use to get the answer, right? And you get the same answer depending on which way that you used. It didn't matter. Did you get it? Good. I'm glad you're all with me. So those are two strategies. I have two more strategies that I want to throw at you just to see if any of you thought of these. Okay? So my next strategy that I did was called an equivalent ratio strategy. You guys have been doing ratio tables for multiplication for multi-digits. We're going to do the same thing. We're kind of leading into division. Did you kind of pick up on that hint? So same thing that you've always done with your ratio tables is the dollars are on the top and the people are on the bottom. If you look at my ratio table, I know that I started with the problem 1. I started with $12, right? And I had 8 people. Well, how did I go from $12 to $6? What did I do? Who's got it? Who's got it? Do you got it? I divided by 2, right? So whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So I divided 12 divided by 2, and I got 6. I divided 8 divided by 2, and I got 4. Ooh, do I have a pattern going? Let's see. If I divided 6 divided by 2, I get 3. If I take 4 and divide by 2, I get 2. Again, equivalent ratio strategies. This also plays into, well, whether you're doing multiplication or division. Ratio tables are a great strategy for you to use if it makes sense to you, okay? Helps you get there a little quicker too, because some of the numbers that you're going to be having in your homework today, your student book and in your home connections, those are kind of bigger numbers, right? So get to friendly numbers. Let friendly numbers help you get this figured out. One last strategy I wanted to share with you is something that we're going to be working on in our next unit as well. It's called those lovely fractions. So just like our ratio table, did you notice they're kind of on top of each other? They kind of look like a fraction. They really kind of are. So 12/8, we did the same strategy here. We divided by 2. Whatever we do to the top, we have to do to the bottom. Divided by 2, divided by 2. Okay. See my little note? Can you read my writing? This is something we will continue to work on. We're going to do some more work with fractions and decimals and all that kind of stuff. Okay? You guys, you're doing fabulous with this. I'm so excited. Can't wait to see your work as you're going to send it in to us as well. So those are kind of the strategies that we're going to work on. My last thing that I want to tie together for you is a couple of definitions. So we're going to take this chart, and again, I just made this chart. We're going to do it together. But before we do, I thought it was kind of important because I got some big words up here. I've got dividend, divisor, and quotient. Now, some of this might be review for you, and I hope it is, but I just wanted to make sure that you understand what they were. So the first word that we're going to look at is called dividend, okay? So it says dividend, whoops, so sorry, floppy paper. The number that will be divided into in a division problem. So when your moms and dads are helping you with division problems, and I love that they are helping you because they're learning how to do math a little differently because you're the teacher for them and our partial product and our partial quotient. That's not something that they're used to. They're used to setting up a problem like this. So my problem is 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So the dividend is the 8. So that's the number that's being divided. So when we do this little brackets thing, it's the number that's in the middle there. That's the whole number. That's the whole part that we're dividing, okay? So dividend is that number. So keep that in mind because that's going to come back. We got to remember what it is when we're doing our chart, okay? So dividend. Divisor. Divisor is the number in a division problem that divides the dividend. So we said the dividend is the number in the middle. The divisor is the number that we're dividing it into parts. So that's the number of parts that we want to get it into. That's how I kind of think of it. So the number in the middle, the dividend, is the whole. That's how much total that I have. The divisor is how many parts I want to break it into. So I can kind of think of that in the fraction terms as well, because remember I said we're going to be working on some fraction. So in this case, it's the 2, because that's how many parts I need to break it into. And that's the number for us old-fashioned parents out there that are watching this video too. That's the number that we're dividing it into. So that's how many parts. So that goes on the outside. Okay? Oh, I'm combining old school with new school. Isn't it great to be having school at home right now? Last one I want to share with you. Quotient. This should be familiar to most of you, but maybe not that big word. So quotient is the result or the answer in a division problem. Number of times one quantity goes into another. So the number on the top is always the answer. So that's always the quotient. In our case here, 8 divided by 2, 4 is our answer. So quotient and answer are basically the same. Okay? Now that we understand what those 3 are, let's come back and we're going to fill this in. Okay? I'm going to pause for a minute, put some numbers in from what you did for your homework. So hang on. I'm back. Are you ready for me? So I'm actually taking the problems from your questions 1, 2, and 3 on your math journal page. Bear with me. 34, questions 1, 2, 3. Okay? So the dividend, so that's the total, right? That's the total amount. We had 12, 12, and then 24 for question 3. Okay? The divisor is how many parts we're going to break it into. Okay? So we're dividing by 8, by 16, and by 16. Okay? So what are we going to get for the quotient, which is the answer? So we figured out that 12 divided by 8 was $1.50. Would you agree? Well, 12 divided by 16, let's think about that because we're dividing by a number that's bigger than 12. So it's got to be something less, right? So you should have gotten 75 cents. Oops, there you go, 75 cents. Okay? And then our last one is back up to $1.50. So as you're checking your math for questions 1, 2, and 3, your quotient or your answer should have been $1.50, 75 cents, and $1.50. Can you see any patterns here? Mrs. Wilgenbush, I see a pattern. Oh, I see you raising your hand. Good job. Because, you know, we're still in school. You still have to raise your hand. Alrighty. So, what do we do to get from here to here? From 12 to 24, what did we do? We multiplied by 2. Agreed? And what did we do to get from 8 to 16? We multiplied by 2. So if we multiply by 2, we have to divide this by 2. And then to get from here to here, we multiplied by 2. Kind of fun how that all works out, isn't it? I think you guys are doing amazing on your math. We can't be more prouder of you at Riverside. So here is the game plan for today. So your job for today, and again, if it takes you a couple days to get through this stuff, we're okay with that. You know, sun's out. I'm just as happy if you go outside and get some fresh air. Remember to be safe. Getting some fresh air is good. So here's your assignment for today. Student book page 246 looks like this. Splitting the cost. Reviewing on how we do some of the stuff. Oh, the area and perimeter. Remember, area is inside, perimeter is outside. Okay, so you're working on that. And then you're doing home connections, page 127 and 128. Danny's data. Ooh, we're doing some graphing. Remember we did that with me last time? I really like how these tie into the lessons that I've already taught you. So, and then we're adding in some fractions. Challenge work, that's kind of up to you guys. I think depending on your classroom teacher. If you want to, great. If you don't, I'm going to tell my win kids, yeah, you got to do the challenge because you can do it. You can absolutely do it. And you know what, everyone else, you can do it too if you want to. Okay, I'm going to leave that up to you. So, be safe, have fun, be smart. Can't wait to see you guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of your family members. Be nice, be kind. Go out and get some vitamin D sun, play, and we'll see you when we see you. Signing off from Milwaukee, it's Mrs. Wolkenbush.